What's up, guys? It is that Panagon. I'm here again with another video, and today we're revisiting old footage that I had, and this is actually supposed to be the beginning of our fight that we had a 3v1 up mid. And you guys might have seen that video. It was honestly one of my more favorite fights I've had in ages, to be honest. Like, if I had to recite a more recent fight or one of my, like, the last fight that I had that I would consider my best, this would probably be our best fight. And it's not going to be the stuff you see in this video, although this video is still, like, entertaining to its own degree. I had already uploaded a separate video of our second half of the island raid, which was our 3v1, which consisted of us fighting Moppy up mid. I think it was Amra, and then it was Wolf on our flank as well. And it was honestly pretty insane because we had a multi-hour fight, kind of fighting on three fronts, and it was just an absolute blast. Honestly, these teams gave their all. Moppy was on it, obviously the main vanguard, but these other teams sacrificed quite a bit to try to take us down, and they almost succeeded because we were extremely exhausted. Though this video is mainly going to be our initiating fight with Wolf, and this was us pushing them earlier out, trying to make sure we locked them behind their village. And to be honest, these guys were way stronger than I expected. Their garrisons, their rallies, and even just their field fighters, and they were pretty good. Their garrison was really annoying to crack. Obviously, we had Saint, who's an absolutely beastly rider garrison, but he usually would smash through really hard range towers, which is exactly what we kind of had him here for. The main issue that we ended up facing, though, during this fight was that our field presence wasn't bad necessarily, but it was just that, one, our activity actually wasn't as best right here, and two, we had to take on three teams, I believe it was, because Moppy kept coming down, and they were really a pain. Wolf was obviously fighting us, and I think a few Armor players also kind of came down, but the real issue fighting this ended up becoming when we had to fight over the enemy tower, because, obviously these guys were constantly trying to pull us into the AoE, which was annoying. Not to mention, just the field control was really tough, because if we couldn't control the field, they would swarm out any of our rider rallies, and we really wanted our rider to be slapping into the range tower more than anything. So it was just really tough, and obviously, if they had field control, they could also rally our tower, which wasn't as big of a deal because we had Big Daddy who could hold the tower. And frankly, besides Moppy, nobody could really trade positive on our tower, and that was the main issue. And honestly, when we had went mid, we had much better kind of field control and stuff when we kind of had fought on three fronts. And the reason this is because these guys aren't kind of isolating their fights into one selective area, right? Like, whenever we fought these guys, obviously everybody can kind of walk over and just field fight over here, whereas once we had field fought mid, these guys all had to spread us out and try to hit us from multiple fronts, because obviously they can't walk across the map to help another team field control in a tower while they're trying to break their own tower, right? So this was kind of one thing that we were able to play at, though still it was really tough. And honestly, I mentioned it in my other video, but we would have probably lost this if the other teams hadn't stepped in. And by this, I mean they had started trying to build towers on the flank side. They weren't really necessarily our allies, besides one team that we picked up kind of, not right away, but TROU. And then there was Chev. They also had kind of come in. I think the reason they came in was because they just had gotten cut off by Moppy, and they took their level 7, and they wanted their get back, so they ended up jumping in. And it was a whole fiasco. It was still really fun, though. I kind of had a blast from all this. It was a lot of fun, though. And I mean, you're going to see here, though, we were slamming through this tower, just trying to break it. And we do kind of get some decent trades. This one was worse than our previous trades, and the reason is you're going to see Ethan as a support, and it's because they kept trying to swarm our rallies. And if you guys know, Felix marches and stuff are really good for solo marching a rally, like a rider rally, because obviously Felix has really good counter damage reduction. So you're going to see people using not Cynthia marches. They're going to be using a Felix marches, obviously, to just kind of get good trades on our rally, which is still going to hurt our rally ultimately. So we're kind of struggling in that regard. So he was trying to use Ethan to see if that would trade better. But overall, our rally trades were worse, even though the swarm trades were better. But then people just wouldn't swarm the rally, or they wouldn't be field fighting around the rally. So then our trades just weren't really that good. And then you see here, we start losing field control because a lot of our guys just start getting full hospitals. No matter how good we feel like we are here, and the reason we took very few allies is because obviously we felt like we wanted a really good fight here. We just can't kind of out heal 3 alliances or 2-3 alliances kind of coming at us. Even just Moppy alone was really tough, right? And we can't really out heal this, and we kind of just turtle down for a bit as we heal up a little bit and we kind of recover our energy. Not to mention, we also know these guys can't sit on us forever. They can't like sit all day over our tower while these guys kind of try to rally it and just fail. And these guys obviously aren't going to keep rallying our tower because they know they're trading really bad. So they kind of give up, and we go for their tower. We obviously don't push their field. I sent a Stella rally because I wanted their whales to swarm it, which they were swarming our previous rally. So I sent a Stella rally and they all had to go refresh. So then we kind of just sent a new rally and just popped this tower. And it was beautiful. This was an amazing fight. I kind of wanted to just recite this as I realized I hadn't ever uploaded the first part of this, and I kind of had no reason not to make this part because, I don't know, like I said, it was a really good fight. I felt like these teams all gave their all. I give it to Wolf. I give it to Amra. Like, they had taken really bad losses, and in a lot of these cases, they took really bad trades, and I feel like it was mainly like a greater, for the greater good fight, right? Obviously, I think they were just trying to drain us so that when Moppy came in, they could beat us. And they almost did, right? Like, these guys really did a good job at trying to accomplish what they, kind of came in for. This field fight right here, by the way, this was after the fact. We had been kind of slow building towards their level 6 or whatever, and they kind of just randomly popped back up and started defending their towers because they had stopped at some point, and then they just kind of woke back up, and Moppy came back down to harass us. They start trying to pop our towers, so we had to get, our whales back on to come defend our tower and send more rallies. And it was like, bro, just give up already, please. We're just trying to rest. We're all just trying to recuperate, and you guys just refuse to give up. Like, please. But yeah, we did kind of realize after we pushed these guys that they were a lot stronger than we initially thought they were, and we actually thought we might lose this island raid, which was fine. We just really kind of wanted a good fight coming in here, but we realized that we would have had to isolate these guys as much as possible, which is why we wanted to push these guys back to their 6. And once we realized these side alliances were more of a threat than we expected, we start trying to go for armor, for example. We go towards our 7, or we already had our 7, right? And then we start building towards the other 7, which you're going to see in the mid-fight, but basically Moppy comes down and stops us, but we were planning to push these guys back to their 6, so then we could go and try to cut off Moppy by their 6, but obviously, things didn't work out how we expected them to. And whatnot. It was just kind of a whole fiasco. But then you see here, by the way, this is a random fight, but this was our ally. And to be honest, I love our ally. They were actually pretty cool, but they were not really any help to us. We had picked these guys up because we were like, okay, they're a decent team. We just wanted to pick up at least one team as like a safety precaution. But they start fighting this other team, LALO, on this side of the map. And the issue with this is that I think they underestimated LALO, right? And they were expecting to just kind of pick up a free body here, and they were going to just move on to the next team and just kind of farm kills. But they end up losing to these guys, is what the worst part was. They don't win. They lose to these guys. So our allies end up becoming useless to us, right? Like, we kind of just come in to help them a bit, but we can only do so much for our allies. Like, we end up negotiating something so that we could get our allies out of, like, I think it was like 7th place or something, and get them in the top 4. But it was just like, oh my gosh. But what you're going to see here is me abusing this range tower, by the way. You're going to see I'm constantly clicking back. And for anybody who doesn't know this strategy, you're constantly clicking back to stay under the AoE, because I keep dragging these guys because I realize they're rallying the tower. So any field fighting under this tower or anybody walking under this tower is going to be taking AoE damage, which is going to kind of minimize how many people are swarming me under this tower, making my trades a lot better, and also just making the trades of the tower a lot better. As you're going to see in one of these reports, it was like 5-5 rally versus tower, right? But then you had an extra 5 million damage from just purely AoE, which is going to make this next decision they made really confusing. They basically swapped to a chasey garrison, which ends up getting me swarmed off the field, meaning that I can't field control for these guys. And also, their trades on the tower are just worse because 1, their tower gets swarmed, and 2, just ultimately the rally versus tower was already going to trade probably 1-1. I really didn't understand why they didn't keep the range garrison as well, because I feel like they were filling it pretty well. And obviously range is just high damage, so the rally they had wasn't going to stay up. Plus, I could easily swarm out a rider rally while staying under the tower, meaning that anybody who did come to kill me would make the tower trades and their trades ultimately better. And you see here, their tower gets slapped. And I tried to mention this in chat, and they just didn't seem to listen. And I don't know if it was because their fillers were really bad. I mean, you see how few bases were there. But I don't know. I feel like if they were going to fill with something, the range tower would have been better, especially since I was helping them field control, which is making, like I said, their trades better and just my trades better overall. Like, how am I supposed to support you guys if I'm getting absolutely slammed on the field because you wanted to swap the freaking garrison? Like, consider me too, guys. Consider me too. But overall, really good fight. I had a lot of fun this island raid. I really wish I could go back in time and play this one because that was such a blast. And to end off the video, you're going to see a little bit of field fighting between us and Moppy. We had, I think, raided this level 7 near Chev because we saw Moppy was heading up and we wanted to deny them as many prism coins as possible. So you do see us kind of do that. And, you know, I mean, I think that's just kind of straightforward. But yeah, we do end up raiding off Moppy here. Or we end up raiding Chev, so Moppy doesn't get the points, and then we kind of field fight Moppy a bit here because they're obviously building towers in so they can take this level 7, and we just decide we're going to go ball with them. We're going to go fill our hospitals so we can go clear them, and yeah, it was a bit of fun over here. We just kind of balled out. But yeah, I do hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was a lot of fun for me. I hope this video was fun for you guys as well. Maybe you guys just enjoyed it. That being said, I will see you guys in the next one. I'm probably going to be going through some of my old footage and trying to post some videos, but I do appreciate you guys for watching as always. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. That is about it, and peace out.